Something really fun to do with your artist friends is an art collab. Art collabs in general are super fun because you get to see what a mixture of the people participating's styles is. Kapheira and I were hanging out and decided to do one. This was specifically a challenge sort of collab, where every 5 minutes we had to hand the sketchbook over so that the other person could have a turn. Kapheira started, so she basically got to determine the whole drawing from her sketches, which was fun because then I had to work with whatever she created. By the time the first 5 minutes were up, Kapheira and I had a pretty good layout of what the drawing would become. She used a reference I couldn't see because of the rules we set. I did not use a reference and decided to wing it with whatever she gave me. I began by adding details, trying to incorporate my style into the drawing, though hers is similar enough to mine that mine never really showed through. It was still really fun though. It took several switches to get the line art sketches done. Again, because she starred, the art ended up reflecting her style more than mine, which is okay. During my turns, I tried to add details that my style could show through by, and I think in the end the paws and legs were what showcased my style the most. Kapheira tends to go for thicker legs while I go for thin, and the ways I draw paws is a lot more simple than most artists. My paws also end up coming out more pointed than the way that other people draw cat's paws, so there's that difference as well. Kapheira made the suggestion of going over with a marker pen to do line art, so I agreed. That's not what I typically do with my alcohol drawings, but it was something that was really fun to work with. I enjoyed going over the sketch lines with a marker, refining each line and revising the line work. I never use these pens either. I always do my marker line art with fine tip Sharpies. These pens were really pleasant to use and I liked how they didn't bleed out like Sharpies do. When I use Sharpies for line art, the lines always end up thicker than what was my intention because of the bleeding. It's not even that they bleed behind, they just bleed outward, and it can be a little annoying, especially if I'm trying to write words. Kapheira began and ended up finishing the line art, and then took to erasing the pencil lines of the drawing. It was really starting to look nice at this point, and we were excited to begin coloring. At the end of her 5 minutes, Kapheira even managed to begin coloring one of the cats. She worked a lot faster than I did. I went with coloring the cat on the edge a dark gray that ended up looking black, with even darker points in the paws, nose, and tail tip. And then I gave the cat green eyes, simply because those cats seem to go well with the fur colors, and most cats do have green eyes. Kapheira was working on coloring a cat gold during her turns, so it didn't take us long to realize, oh, wait, these cats look like Hollyleaf and Lionblaze from Warriors. It wasn't on purpose. After that, it became a competition to try to make characters that couldn't be taken for Warriors characters. These are supposed to just be generic cats. Kapheira's last cat was a dark orange tabby, which is cool. Technically you could say it's Firestar, but the character's a little dark. And Squirrelflight isn't typically drawn as a tabby, though it could be Alderheart or a random character like Foxleap, but who's going to think of that? So we were doing well. I started drawing a silver and white cat that could technically be taken as Ivypool, but let's hope no one made that connection without me saying it. Ivypool is a tabby anyway. I was going to put darker points on this cat, maybe even tabby stripes, but stopped myself because, yeah, Ivypool. You could say that Kapheira's next character is Mapleshade or Spotted Leaf, but no, we promise you it's just a generic calico, tortoiseshell, and white, call it what you will, a generic cat. I accidentally used the same marker color for the next cat. It's just a cat fur color I obviously liked. As I realized it was the same color, I caught myself and gave this cat white patches. It worked out and he looked pretty different from the other dark gray / black cat on screen. I also had a chance to color in the sun, and I went to make the shadows under the clouds before realizing, oh, the marker I chose to use wasn't actually the color I wanted. So that was nice, but Kapheira fixed it up some during her turn. She also began on the painful process known as coloring in the grass. I did the sky using a light, somewhat bright blue to color it in. Like the grass, that wasn't a fun process either, but it was okay. Kapheira did some touch-ups on the grass during her turn, and I did some on the sky and the grass during my turn to make sure that everything looked perfect and there weren't random uncolored patches. And it did. The result of the sky and grass was beautiful. Finally, Kapheira finished up by coloring in the mountains. With those out of the way, the collaborative art piece was finally finished. Collabs are super fun and I 10 out of 10 recommend doing one with your friends. Here was the result of ours.